I think that's that. And hey, if Giannis gets booted out the East, then like even more reason to just kick it into the second apron, give it a shot, because this is the best team that they will probably have for a while, and it's the best team that they've had for a while. Yeah, I mean, do you have anything else on Cleveland? I mean, obviously they weren't frauds. Only 4 teams can make the conference finals, so um, yeah, I mean that does it for Cleveland. We can shift forward to another one of those teams, Golden State. Also dealt with injuries in the first round. As it currently is sitting, they have Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, Moody, Hield, Pajemski, Jackson Davis, Guy Santos, and Quentin Post under contract for next season. They have to figure out what they're doing with Jonathan Kuminga. They have to figure out what they're doing in general with Gary Payton, Kevon Looney. Uh, those guys are free agents. They have first apron space. They have 25 million of first apron space and then 37 million dollars of second apron space. They're flexible. They have um, plenty of things that they can or they have plenty of possibilities to do. They've already gone out and said that they're not going to go star hunting, but they will be looking to improve the roster. Like where's the areas to improve for Golden State, you think?
I kind of like that quote that they won't go star hunting because I think I think that they just really need a bona fide third scorer with some consistency. Um, because after getting rid of I mean we saw once Curry went down, Butler wasn't really able to carry this team, and I think even with Butler and Curry out there, I mean who's their third best consistent scorer? Pods is a streaky shooter who he'll give you 21 game and then go like 2 for 11 from the 3 point line. And I mean, besides that, I really can't name a consistent third option for this Warriors team. I mean, you get Mosey Moody some nights, you get Przenski some nights, Kaminga occasionally. I think Kaminga. I think they need to get rid of him now because they don't know what to do with him. They have nothing for on this team for him. Um, and they get a lot for Kuminga. There's a lot of people that want Jonathan Kuminga. Um, like the Wizards would take him. I would be so happy if we traded like Marcus Smart and some other pieces for that. And I think that wouldn't be the worst thing for them to get a really good defender. I think they do have some spacing issues that could be worked out. I mean, we saw when they had a big center like Quinton Post shooting the rock, it opened things up tremendously for this team. And with Jimmy Butler there, when he gets the ball, he holds it till the shot clock signs get to 8, 7, and then he start to do his movement. And I feel like they just need a little bit better spacing. And the front court needs to be addressed. The small ball Draymond thing did work a little bit, but not really when they got into the playoffs, and we saw what Rudy Gobert was able to do. Um, so yeah, I think a front court. I think like you just said, not star hunting, just getting consistent, just like a third option and a couple shooters. This offseason would be huge for them. Um, and yeah, I think that's kind of how I'm looking at this offseason for them.
Yeah, I've done like looking forward to their off season from the star hunting perspective. Like I've mocked the Kevin Durant trades already, right? I've already mocked up the Larry Markkinen deals. Um, and like for them, like those are players that I think could really help them. And then like the Porzingis thing kind of comes to mind because is he not ideally just a better version of Quentin Post? I would hope so, but from this perspective, if you're Warriors management, like that would require them to get rid of that Jonathan Kuminga asset, and I think they want to be very sure that they're buying into a championship core. So I think if they are going to do any star hunting or like big splashes, I think it will be a deadline thing. I think they'll do kind of what they did last year, where they use everything they can to add salaries and add players that can potentially impact the team to the roster. Maybe they need to be a Luke Cornett team. I think, like you said, Jonathan Kuminga needs to be traded elsewhere for multiple decent players. that makes some real money. And I think what they want to do is they want to keep control of their picks until they know that they are going to have a big chance. A spacing 5 would be big for them. There's not that many of them. That's why Porzingis comes up. That's why Lauri Markkanen comes up, because he could technically play the 5 if Draymond Green and Butler are there to help you defensively. And Durant comes up because, same thing. But then outside of that, like, they do need a backup point guard. Like, kind of like the same things we were talking about going into the season, hoping that Kuminga would become an actualized version of himself, basically what Jimmy Butler's providing them. What happens with Jackson Davis? Is he still valuable? Does he give them any type of minutes, or do they trade him because they have Quinn Post, who they also seem to very much like? I would say overall, though, there's a lot of ways that you could take this. Cam Johnson, I think, would be a great piece, just regardless, because every team would like Cam Johnson if they wanted to just then flip him for a superstar later, but then Cam Johnson can play next to people. And Cam Johnson doesn't have nothing as in his own self-creation side of his game. So I think that's a great piece for them. They could just trade Jonathan Kuminga for Cam Johnson, and I wouldn't bat an eye to that deal necessarily. So I think those are some obvious ways of improvement. Just get better players on the roster. Get a backup point guard. Dennis Schroeder would have been really nice on their team. Too bad they never got him. They could bring him back this year. Anything else big come to mind for you?
No, I mean, it's just it's gonna be. I think this team. I mean, we saw what they were able to do. I think it's gonna be interesting to see Jimmy Butler on this team in a larger sample size with a full season, because we know they went 18-0 or whatever it was when he was in the lineup. But the team was just playing differently. They were playing with more of an edge because they needed to get. I mean, they were in the danger of missing a play-in spot. And as well, they weren't playing. They didn't really play a lot of West teams that much when Butler was on the squad. So I want to see what Jimmy Butler really is going to do with this Warriors team. And if they get a consistent third scorer, this team is going to be very fun to watch, and it always will be because they have Steph Curry. So yeah.
Do we have anything to say on the Steve Kerr rotations? I've just seen it be a big debating point around like league discourse that his rotations are weird. I wouldn't say that they're super weird. From time to time, they confuse me a little bit, but yeah, I mean, whatever. Jonathan Kuminga wasn't going to play for them come playoff time. I understand how